With the Miami Heat, I'm willing to give Pat Riley the benefit of the doubt. This is a guy that won the title in 2006 to South Beach, as they also then, of course, lured LeBron James and the big player empowerment big three of Bosh and Wade. Got 2 titles there, and then most recently made it to the Eastern Conference champions and into the NBA Finals in the bubble. They get swept out of this year's playoffs. You add Kyle Lowry, you re-sign Jimmy Butler to where you're paying him $50 million in his age 36 season. But again, it's just like what this Westbrook contract and Chris Paul contract has been. You're able to trade it eventually. Chris Paul just got re-up for another 4 years. So you're taking a big kind of, let's get this window. We'll pay you the money, Jimmy. Hopefully you can still add that big whale like a Kyle Lowry's nice, but he's not Kawhi Leonard if you're still trying to court him as he remains kind of mum as free agency keeps going. Duncan Robinson, you need him as your 3-point shooter. Jimmy Butler can't shoot threes. Lowry's fine. But Robinson's your guy that can hit consistently above 41%. He had 44% that season he went off, and then in the bubble. So I think the Heat are still going to be in the thick of the Eastern Conference, and Pat Riley kind of taking one last, hey, I'm going to be in my 80s soon. Let's see if we can't get back there with Jimmy Butler, who's still, a great player. He had a great season when he was out there. He had trouble remaining healthy, and then he was just a ghost in the playoffs. But adding Lowry, another piece to the Pat Riley puzzle, we'll see what they can get out of him coming up this year. What are you going to get out of Chris Paul for the next 4 years? The Suns, they had the most bizarre route to the NBA Finals where they missed Jamal Murray with the Nuggets. They missed Anthony Davis when he got hurt in that Lakers series. Kawhi Leonard, and then they were up 2-0 and eventually lost. Here are some teams I think are still better than the Suns because they were the healthiest team last year. They weren't necessarily the best. The Lakers, obviously, they're like the perimeter favorites almost every year because of LeBron. The Jazz, Nuggets are going to get Jamal Murray back. And the MVP, of course, Nikola Jokic. Will he still keep up that level? Clippers, let's see where Kawhi ends up, right, if he resigns. Warriors locked and loaded. Klay Thompson coming back. And then are the Mavericks going to be able to take that step? They no longer have Rick Carlisle at the helm. Kristaps Porzingis has never done much winning. But Luka Doncic is, of course, one of the best stars in basketball now. He just showed you in the Olympics, and we'll see what he could do with the Mavs coming up this year, too, after I believe he signed that huge rookie extension, right? And wrapping up NBA talk with the news today, Reggie Jackson, my guy, re-signing with the Clippers. He quoted, he said they basically revived his career, and he was Mr. October. When it mattered for the Clippers when they lost Kawhi, I thought they were going to beat the Suns still. That was an incredible playoff run for Reggie Jackson. His 13th season. Can you believe that? Boston College's own. I'm going to give you the top 3 players in BC men's basketball history. Reggie Jackson, Jared Dudley, 15 years, and he doesn't have the stats. He wasn't the player Reggie Jackson was, but he was the teammate, the mind, the basketball IQ, and he got the title with the Lakers in the bubble last year. And how about Tyrese Rice? This dude was my favorite. This dude balled out in the ACC. It was like, God, a dozen years ago. Never got drafted, or maybe he was a second-round pick and had a nice career overseas. He comes back and wins the basketball tournament, the $1 million prize. I don't know why he was playing for Syracuse, but still, Tyrese Rice balling out. You got to put him. That's my Mount Rushmore, my top 3 Boston College men's basketball players.